I'm a student of MBA fourth semester. The topic of the presentation is emerging practices in green marketing, which is green energy, and we are also going to talk about the green energy consumption in India. So basically, it's like a sarcastic joke for the people who talk about green. We can see this. We can see this picture that an electric vehicle is being charged by a diesel generator. So where are we talking about green marketing? Because it's an AI generated image, but if we are going to search on the Google, there has been a case where electric vehicles are being charged by diesel generators, because all around the India, how many stations are there? There are a diesel generator for the alternative energy source. If the electricity is not there, they use diesel generators. So it was only for a joke. Green washing machine. So we are talking about green energy in today's era, but it is not a new concept. If we go into the ancient civilizations of Greeks and Romans, they used to utilize the solar energy for their houses. Like their architecture was made by the passive solar design, where you can see in this picture, in the summer season the sun is higher and in the winter season the sun is lower. So their houses were made in such a system that in the summer season when the sunlight comes on their houses, it goes to their roof overhangs and does not directly go into the house. While in the winter season, the sunlight directly comes to the lower side, and because of the south facing windows, the heat directly goes into the house, and with the heat absorbing surface, the heat is absorbed, and in the night time, the heat distributes all around the house, and it creates a good temperature to live in the winter season. Another example of wind energy in ancient time, by 200 BC, Chinese and Persians used to use these windmills. Their design was different. They used these windmills to pump water and also grind grains from their fields. Hydropower, which is the largest source of green energy in today's time, it is also mentioned, and Greeks were among the first to harness this hydropower by using the water wheels. They used the water wheels to grind the wheat into the floor. As we know that in India also, before 30 years also, in India, in Indian houses there were chaki, where the movements of the houses used to grind wheat by themselves only. But this is also mentioned in Greek civilization that hydropower was used, like it is not what is today, but the source can be said that yeah, it is there in the history also. In ancient India, we have also mentioned that what are the natural sources we are using for green energy in today's time. It all is mentioned that these things has to be worshipped. We worship or not, it is a different thing. But in our culture, it is mentioned that sun is considered as Surya, wind is considered as Vayu, water as Varun or Ganga, forest as Aranyani, like people and neem, these plants are worshipped. Earth is beyond Dharti Mata. So these things are there in every culture, every civilization. We have treated them as a source of energy, as a source of our livelihood. But in 1800s, 1900s, because of the industrialization, we forgot about these things, and because the technology comes and our workload become easy, we shifted towards those things which harm our environment, and today we are again shifting to those things from where we have started. So the question is, what is green energy? Everyone talks about green energy, green marketing, but as my topic is green energy, the question is, what is green energy? From a source of national design, it shows that energy that can be produced using a method that does not harm the environment. From a source that does not affect the environment negatively, and that causes no harm to the natural environment also. Means any natural source which is used for producing an energy which does not affect the environment minimal or no harm to the environment is called as green energy. There are a lot of sources of green energy like solar energy, wind energy, hydropower, biomass, and geothermal energy. I'm going to discuss about these aspects in the further slides. So another question is, are green energy, renewable energy, and clean energy the same? Everyone talks like green energy, renewable energy, clean energy in the same manner, but after searching a lot, I does not say that this is a true information because they have been taken from the same website, National Grid website. It says that they are same in each and every manner, but only one difference is between green energy and renewable energy is that if a solar panel being produced by doing some carbon emissions and if its disposal harm the environment, then it cannot be called as complete green. While the green energy means the energy which has no negative impact on the environment, and clean energy, the energy which does not affect the air at all. So these are some differences between these things. We are going to talk about the sources of green energy. The first one is solar energy. As we all know that solar energy is derived from the sun. Some photovoltaic panels has been manufactured around the globe, and it absorbs the heat from the sun and generates electricity. And it can be used for electricity purpose and heating, even cooking. And we can see that on the road, the light poles are also now by solar energy. And it is clean, abundant, like it is not going to end at all. And it is especially more effective in the regions which are more heat, like there are more heat waves and the regions which are more hot. And it is the fastest growing energy source all around the globe. Wind energy, which is wind energy produced by kinetic energy. Kinetic energy, which means kinetic energy called as gatisil urja. Like when the wind rotates, it creates an energy, and by this energy, the electricity is generated. And it can be wind energy can be generated also, like on land also, and in the sea also. And it is very environment friendly. The only negative impact I saw about this wind energy is that it can harm the birds in the sky. Like if any birds come into the connection of these turbines, they can it is very environment friendly with no emissions during operation, and it requires a steady wind flow, like there should be wind to use wind energy. Hydropower energy is the most used energy source for green energy all around the world, and it is generated by harnessing the energy of flowing or falling water. For this production of this energy, a lot of dams has been manufactured, so that when the water falls in more speed, the water dams have more speed, then it generates more energy. It is currently the largest source of renewable energy, electricity worldwide, and it is very efficient and can provide base load or peak load power. The only difference is like there are two types of hydropower also, small hydropower and large hydropower. Large hydropower can harm the environment in some manner, but small hydropower, which India promotes mostly the small hydropower, and all around the world, the large hydropower is also not considered as a complete green energy source. But small hydropower, which has smaller impact on the environment and which is manufactured in small dams, small rivers, so it has some differences. Biomass energy is produced from the organic materials like wood, trees, agricultural waste, and animal manures from the soil also, soil only. And it can be used for heating, it can be used for electricity, and it can be transformed into fuels also, like biofuels, biogas, etc. And it is considered renewable if managed sustainably. It emits carbon dioxide, it also produces carbon dioxide, but much less than the fuels like petrol, diesel. It has minimal impact, and it is a part of closed carbon cycle. Closed carbon cycle का मतलब क्या होगा? इसका closed carbon cycle.
साइड के बारे में सेक्शन में कार्बन साइकिल का मतलब यही है ना कि चीज जो है जब भी emit करेगा वो ऑक्सीजन लेगा और एक्सेप्ट करेगा।
आपका रेगुलर इसका रेगुलर नहीं वन टाइम का प्रोसेस हो गया।
कंटिन्यूअस प्रोसेस।
मतलब वन टाइम का है, मतलब एक बार जैसे एक बार बायोगैस बनाने में जितना एनर्जी निकलेगा, जो भी कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड निकलेगा वो एक ही बार निकलेगा। दोबारा
बायोमास एनर्जी जैसे तुम गैस की बात करोगे तो तुम्हारा एलपीजी है,
Yes, sir.
एलपीजी यूज होता है, ये जो ह्यूमन गैस में है सबसे नहीं हुआ वो भी उसी तरीके का कुछ जो है कार्बन और पता नहीं क्या क्या कन्वर्ट थोड़ा एनवायरमेंटल साइंस का कॉन्सेप्ट है, उसको लोग अच्छे से समझा सकते हैं।
The next one is geothermal energy. In this picture we can see a lot of smoke, but it is not a part of conclusion because it is not smoke, it is vapor, like the water vapors, so it is vapor of the those energy sources, and it draws heat from the earth's interior parts. Like inside earth there is a lot of heat, and it generates mostly on the islands and where Jwalamukhi etc. has been generated, and it is constant and it is a reliable source because it has no weather dependent. Solar energy needs some hours. In rainy seasons we cannot generate solar energy. Wind energy needs wind. If there is no wind we cannot generate wind energy. But geothermal energy can be produced at any time. And it is used mainly in geologically active areas where island and some parts of India also. And it requires a deep. Yes sir. सर आपको एक लोकेशन नहीं पता है, लेकिन जो आइलैंड्स वगैरह हैं जैसे कि इंडिया में है, सबको एक बार देखना पड़ेगा, लेकिन
समुद्र एरिया में या जहाँ कोस्टल एरिया
जहाँ ज्वालामुखी वगैरह का
जहाँ कोस्टल एरिया भी हो और वो भी हो हमारे ज्वालामुखी
but it can be costly in some areas because it requires deep drilling also. There are some benefits of green energy like reduced greenhouse gas emissions. We know that a lot of greenhouse gas emissions impact our environment because it consumes the heat in the earth only and it does not let go the heat around the earth. So it can impact the environment. But if we are using green energy, that it reduces the greenhouse gas emissions. Air quality has going to be improved because of green energy. We are not using diesel and petrol etc. Energy independence also because we are not only dependent on some energy sources only. We have more alternatives for producing energy, so it reduces the dependence on some only specific sources of energy. Economic benefits is there because of green energy there has been a lot of jobs created all around the world, and it also impacts the economy of every country which is going to use this energy sources because the panels, the solar panels, the wind power etc. are little bit costly also compared to the other sources of energy. Sustainable future, which is the main reason of adopting these green concepts. So let's talk about the birth of the modern green energy. In the recent slides we saw that in the ancient civilizations they were using this, they were using that. But from where the movement of green energy started in the current era. So Nature Carson was the author who wrote a book named Silent Spring. In this book he indicates the impact of these energy sources which are going to harm our environment, like factories and diesel food. They were all impacting our environment, but people were not thinking about that. But because of this book, a lot of people become aware that our environment is becoming worse to live. So their awareness was created. In April 22, 1970, the first Earth Day was celebrated. There were millions in the US. They protested for environmental degradation. They protested to save our environment. They protested to make products and make companies which are more environment friendly, so that our Earth can be saved from the negative impact of not environment friendly products. And it led to formation of Environmental Protection Agency (EPA) in 1970. It was formulated in USA. These were some pictures which was used in his book, and this shows that a lot of protests were being done in all around in USA for environment safety, environment friendly products, etc. The main turning point for the green energy was 1973 oil crisis. A war was going between Arab and Israel. At that time, some countries of Western nations like USA and its allies were supporting Israel. So what did Arab do? They tried to use the fuel as a weapon. So they stopped the export of fuels to the countries of United States and its allies. So it created a embargo of the oil embargo. Oil embargo is तेल का प्रतिबंध उन्होंने लगा दिया at that time. So it created a panic between those countries. They have like no alternatives for any other energy sources. So उस time पे they started thinking about that what can be done for alternative energy sources. The price of crude also increased, like in only few months it was $3, but it increased to $12 in only few months, and long lines were formed at gas stations for fuels. Like everywhere in the USA and the Western countries, gas was not available at all. So this created a panic, and people started thinking about alternative sources of energy. What was the global reaction of this crisis? So the world started. There was only some countries which were producing oil, and whole world was dependent on those specific countries. But because of this crisis, countries started exploring solar energy and wind energy, hydropower energy, and other nuclear energy sources, and they started to take it seriously for producing energy. In India especially, the crisis of 1973 also impacted. It was a wake-up call for the world, and India was also a part of that crisis. They were also hit by the crisis, and the economy was impacted a lot because we were highly from a source which I saw on the website of government. At that time, 60% oil was imported from the Arab countries in India. We were highly relied on the import of the oil. So it created a panic in India also. The energy insecurity triggered a search for indigenous energy solutions, like what can be more alternatives to produce energy inside our country only. So this marked the first formal shift, like it was the transformation of India in the sector of energy, that we are not going to be dependent on only other countries. We have to produce our own sources of energy in our country only. The India's green energy journey started in 1980s. Firstly, in 1980s, India was the first country to make a dedicated ministry for renewable energy, which was firstly called as Ministry of Non-Conventional Energy Sources. It was renamed in 2006 as Ministry of New and Renewable Energy. The role of this ministry was to make policy and make programs implementation for the country, for the companies which are going to produce renewable energy, and they also supported those companies who were going to produce renewable energy. In 1981, a commission for additional sources of energy was created in India. It was created under the Department of Science and Technology, and the aim of this commission was to formulate policies and support research and development, because to produce any new product, any new thing in the country where it has been never done, we need some research and development. We need authentic sources, we need authentic data on which we can work upon. So this commission was formed for that project, and it was a precursor of the MNRE ministry. In 1987, an Indian Renewable Energy Development Agency was created, and it was created for public sector. It was created as a public sector enterprise under In 1981 to 1982, a national biogas program was created and it was launched under the national projects on biogas development. The focus of this project was to increase the household and community biogas plants, especially in the rural India, because the population of rural India is like 70% of all the population. It promoted clean cooking, organic fertilizer generations, and the sources of energy which were more cleaner than the recent sources of energy. The focus was on in this decade. The whole focus was energy security. This decade marked a strategic shift to reduce dependence on imported fossil fuels like which were coming from the other countries. We were going to become more independent in the source in producing the source of energy. These renewables were viewed as a means to diversify the energy mix. It was not an alternative. It was like to diversify the energy mix. Like we are not going to take the energy from only one or two sources. We are going to diversify the sector. And is to enhance the energy independence also. It supported the rural development through decentralized energy systems. Green energy growth begins in 2000-2010. Like many policies and institutions were formed to strengthen the green energy transformation. The Electricity Act of 2003 was formed. It was a landmark for mandate the promotion of renewable energy by state electricity regulatory commissions. It enables open access to the producers of green energy, whatever the producers were there at that time, to enable them to sell these products to the normal citizens of India also, to the normal consumers of India also. And it made it compulsory for distribution companies to purchase some of their power. Like in CSR, we see that some of the money has to go in the social responsibility thing. It was also like that there has to be some source of power come from renewable sources in the countries in the companies of that time. Under the Act of obligation of renewable purchase obligation. In 2005 and in 2006, National Electricity Policy and Integrated Energy Policy emphasized the need for energy security and promoted renewables. The government tried a lot. They did promotion campaigns to promote renewable energy, especially in for the companies only. And these policies laid the foundation for scaling up the solar energy, for increasing the solar energy production and consumption, wind energy production and consumption, and biomass projects. Major renewable energy programs were launched in this decade from 2000 to 2010. Rural electrification program was launched in 2003 to 2002. The main objective was this program was to make 3,000 villages or make the villages of India electrified by green energy. So with this project, around 3,000 villages of India were electrified using renewable energy during the period of 2003-2004 only. Wind power was also expanded in this decade. India has become the fifth largest wind energy producer globally by 2010. In 2000 year, only 1.7 gigawatt of energy was produced from wind energy, but at the end of 2010, we were on 13.1 gigawatts. States like Tamil Nadu, Gujarat, and Maharashtra became the main sources of wind energy production. from 2000 to 2010, this is the summary of the electricity energy production. In 2000, we were 3 gigawatt from renewable energy. In 2005, we went to 7 gigawatt, and in 2010, we went to 18 gigawatt. We can see the major focus. The solar was come in 2010 only. So the mega acceleration of green energy was in India has been done from 2014 to 2000 current time. In 2015, India sets the target of 175 gigawatt renewable energy production. It was announced in the Paris Agreement in 2021, and the goal was to produce 100 gigawatt solar, 60 gigawatt wind energy, 10 gigawatt biomass, and 5 gigawatt small hydro. In 2018, International Solar Alliance was formed, and India was the co-founder of this alliance, which was the headquarter of this alliance was in Gurugram only, and the goal was to mobilize over 1 trillion money from the solar energy by 2030, and in 2024, around the world, 110 countries have joined this alliance. Capacity surge and cost drop because of the promotion of solar energy and production of solar energy. Solar tariffs means the cost of solar for a person. So it was 6 to 7 in 2015, 6 to 7 rupees in 2015, which reduced to 2 rupees unit in 2024. Large solar parks, and hybrid renewable energy projects were launched all around India, and private sectors, FDI, and international funds were coming for these products. Are coming for renewable energy products in India. From 2021 to 2022, Paris target, which was it was a goal for 2022, but we achieved in the 2021 only, and India was able to achieve 50% of total power capacity from non-fossil fuel sources, which are green energy sources. And in the 2022, India became fourth largest in the global in renewable energy installation, wind power installation, and solar power installation. The report published by the IDL, it says that India is moving forward. So it releases a report that India is moving very efficiently in the field of green sector, green energy production, and in the financial year of 2024 to 2025, we were like a record annual capacity of 29.52 gigawatt, which is a record for India, and the total installed renewable energy capacity in India has currently reached to 220.10 gigawatt as of 31st March 2025. Our mission is to go to 500 gigawatts in 2030, and we are moving towards complete our goal. In this picture, we can see that what has been the condition of renewable energy in India, like in 2000 to 2001. Other renewables is like we cannot see even. In 2005 to 2006, it is only 8%, but it has been increases. It had, and seeing the current scenario, we are not going to achieve the target of 500 gigawatts, but if any acceleration doesn't come, but 440 gigawatts we can reach very easily in 2030. India's electricity mix has been from 2010, 84% of the green energy, 84% of the energy was coming from fossil fuels, and 16% from renewables. 2020 we went to 23% renewables, and in 2030 our target is to achieve 50% renewable energy sources. We can also see in this picture that population with access to clean foods for cooking in India only. So in this there is a website, I can give the link, and a lot of data of electricity energy is there on this website of Asia, of world, and especially of India also. Table, charts, everything is there. So in this picture we can say that 71.1% of Indian population is able to use also there are a lot of rooftop solar schemes. PM PM Surya Ghar Yojana was launched in as a marketing slogan of Har Ghar Solar Har Bijli Muft 75,000 subsidy per household. Target was to achieve 10 million electricity vehicles were promoted about. Electricity vehicles were promoted a lot in India, like companies like Tata EV, Ola Electrics, and other is also company. These companies promote green mobility for a better tomorrow, like avoid using fuel like diesel and oil. Petrol is to use the renewable sources of energy for vehicles also. So, green tariff programs was launched by Tata Power. Time
mana planning था वो टाइम लेकिन
corporate and community level green energy marketing, like renewable energy 100%. Like we are not going to use any other source of energy. We are going to commit that we will be using 100% renewable energy in our products. This was promoted by Infosys, Mahindra, Tata.
उस पे आप
There are